Hi everyone, my name is Mihika Jain. Welcome to the first episode of the Decoding with WINFO podcast. Our podcast amplifies the voices of trailblazers from diverse backgrounds in tech and informatics. By sharing their journeys and challenges, we inspire students to believe that with passion and perseverance, anything is possible. Through insightful interviews, we aim to be a resource and community for those breaking barriers and shaping the future of technology. Today, I'm joined with the University of Washington WINFO co-president, Hannah Yee.
Hi guys, I'm Hannah and I'm super excited to be here.
All right, let's get started. So Hannah, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, so I'm Hannah. I'm a third year student in Info, majoring in HCI and also minoring in entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Awesome. How did you get involved with the University of Washington?
So I found out about UW because I'm an in-state student, so I automatically just thought, oh yeah, I'll go to UW. I did apply to some schools in the Bay Area, but I think I stuck with UW because I got admitted to informatics.
Okay. What is informatics? Could you explain for some of our viewers who may not be familiar with the program?
Sure. So in very simple terms, I say, informatics is kind of like CS with a human touch, but I guess the informative one would be informatics is a study of human and how humans interact with computers, and then we use that information to kind of build upon how we create better experiences for humans when they interact with technology.
Okay. What UW class has changed you the most and made you really interested in informatics?
I feel like it's not an info class, it's like a design class because I'm HCI, but I'd say HCD 318, which is Introduction to User-Centered Design. I really like that class because it wasn't very surprising overall, but I know there were these days in class where we would just have assignments and she would make us create an album of pictures of good design and bad design in just normal life. And at first I was like, wait, why are we doing this? Because it's just pictures of chairs and other stuff. But then she was like, no, if you really look and think about it, design is everything around us. From this chair we're sitting on to this room itself. So I was like, wait, that's right. I think the best and most good designs are kind of blended into our life so that we don't really know about it. And so, yeah, it really changed my perspective on, this is design. This is what we create, and yeah, definitely. So that class, and then I'd say another one is one I'm currently taking. So it's called Info 464, which is also a design class. It's called Value Sensitive Design. So I realized that a lot of the projects we do in Info, they're build a typical mobile app, get in a group project. But we don't really stop to think about what are their values, the people using the app, what are their values and why are they using the app. So in the end, we design for humans. I think that's really, really important because we often just design for, this is the end project. We design with the end goal in mind, and I think that's not the correct approach. You have kind of to adapt your way along the way. This is the actual person we're designing for. What are their values and how do we get there? So I think that class really shaped me, and it is still altering my perspective, but trying to think about who is the person, what are their values, and yeah.
What exactly led you to choose informatics and end up with a focus area of design? I know there's a couple other focus areas, health and well-being, data science, cybersecurity. What led you to design?
That's a good question. So first, I found out about informatics my summer of senior year, and I was just exploring majors, and I was I don't really know what to do. So I liked education, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a teacher yet. I liked business, the CEO mindset, and then I liked technology, and I liked graphic design. So I was just saying, what are anything I could do about that? And then I was just talking with my family, and then one person, they recommended, you should check out informatics. So I was what is informatics? So I searched it up, and the more I found out about informatics, I really fell in love with it because it was a mixture of everything I liked: business, technology, design, a little psychology, and then so I was this is great. And so I was fortunate enough to apply as an FGA, which is a first year direct. So I got directly admitted to the major, and I've been going on from there.
Sounds good. What are resources at the iSchool at UW that have really changed the game for you?
I'd say peer advising. I know it's very often overlooked, and you think, oh, like it's just students like taking questions, but those students are the ones like directly taking the classes, get the best insight. So they'll have like the most essential knowledge. I know like it's kind of hard to meet with advisors too and kind of work with your schedule, but I think the best advice is like from the students. So definitely check out the peer advising. Also, I'd say I know iSchool has like a career Canva page, and I know I always get like the Canva like email notifications, but it's a really good resource if you're like going into career prep for like resume review, portfolio review, because I know there are like people willing to help. But yeah.
What really makes the iSchool, the people, how is the faculty, how has it supported you and your endeavors?
I think what I really like about Info is like the people. I can't like emphasize this enough, because wherever I go, whether it's class, like group projects, or like clubs, or like professors I talk to, like whatever they do, they're so like motivated by what they're doing, and they really, really, truly want to help you. I think that's really hard to find, especially like in a competitive setting or just like within college, because everyone's so focused on what they're doing. But I feel like Info has that supportive community, so they're willing to help you if you ask. Especially for like professors, I know they're like very fun if you like get to know them. They are people too, and so they would just reach out. Like definitely don't hesitate. I know it can be like a little daunting, but I think like another advice I have is like go to office hours. Yes, I know it's like, oh, why do I go to office hours? But no, like build a relationship with your professors, because I know like in the end it will benefit both sides, and like you'll learn so much like outside of class too. So yeah.
What has been the coolest opportunity that the iSchool has provided you with?
That's a good question. So I'd say I know iSchool has, and apart from the iSchool, just in general, UW has a lot of like research groups. So definitely try to join if you're interested in like your research group. I know if you talk to professors, like again, building that relationship, you can like kind of find a research opportunity. And then I know iSchool also has study abroad. So they have a bunch of programs. They have like one in Korea, the Netherlands, Ethiopia, and I think Portugal. But yeah, there's like a bunch of study abroad opportunities. So.
Have you studied abroad before?
I did. So this summer I actually went to Netherlands with Trent and Michelle. Shout out to Trent. But it was so fun. I think one thing if you take away from this podcast, it's like definitely during your college or like university years, travel. Like go study abroad. I cannot emphasize this enough, because I feel like you just learn so much and you kind of expand your knowledge. I got the time to reflect back on myself. So for logistics, I was in Amsterdam studying library sciences. So it was cool because we got to study with like master's students. I was like, at first I was like a little intimidating. I was like, oh, like what are the discussions gonna be like? Because it was like two different like undergrads and grads. So I was like, I don't know, like is there gonna be a barrier? But no, like we went and it was a great discussion. It was very fruitful. I got to learn a lot, and I think that's one thing good about like learning with people of like various, age and like knowledge, because you get like so much depth of knowledge, and the discussions are just so fun to like sit and watch and listen. It was very like, laid back and casual. Like we had class in the lounge / like lobby area, so just like everyone just like in their PJs or like comfy clothes, and they were just like having class, and I'm like, this is not even class, like this is just like talking. But it was super fun. And then like other than that, we would have like site visits, so we like go out. Since it was like library sciences, we went to like a bunch of museums, galleries, libraries. I don't think I'm gonna go to like another museum in like probably the next year or so, but yeah, it was just a bunch of behind the scenes work. So I feel like when we go to libraries and museums, we kind of just look at the art or like the information we need, and we just leave. But then we don't really think about the people behind it, or like who's working to like put that information there, and like who's working to put the art there. And then we don't really tend to think about like for the art, like the pros and cons of the art. So we just say, oh, it's pretty. But then if you think about it, like for artifacts, for example, like where was the art taken from, and like if it was taken illegally, kind of. So a lot of, we touched upon like the decolonization of artifacts. So it's very interesting. And I think for study abroad especially, you learn a lot what you can't learn in the classroom, since you're like in a different setting, interacting with like all types of people.
For sure.
So it was really fun. And then other than that, we just went on like, we had free time, so just like go out and do your own excursions. So I got to like explore Amsterdam a lot.
Very cool. I know you mentioned about the first year admission program. Could you touch about the different ways that you can get into the iSchool, and then also some info admission advice for prospective students?
So for those of you who don't know, first year direct or FDA is a program where if you write informatics when you apply to UW as like your first intended major, then you can either get admitted directly to the major. So as soon as you get to UW, like informatics is your major, so you don't really have to apply. And then there's another path where you apply to the program as a transfer student or as a current UW student. So the prerequisites are pretty similar, where you take these classes and then you write the essay. But yeah, that's like the overall process. And then I think as an FDA, the benefits are as soon as you get to, since you're in your major, you have the extra time where you don't really have to complete the prerequisites to apply. So I think definitely it saves time. Like if you know you want to do informatics, I encourage you to apply. And then I know for the tips, I'd say 3 biggest tips I have is first, get involved. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not even in info. Like, can I join all these clubs? Like, can I apply to be in, leadership positions? But I say yes, you can definitely. Unless there are like restrictions, I think like all the organizations within the iSchool you can join even as a non-major, which is really, really cool. And then if you join, like you can write that in your essay, which is like a big plus.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely get involved. And the second is for your essay, like be genuine. I cannot emphasize how big this is, because I feel like I've done a lot of essay reviews and I realize people tend to overgeneralize why they want to choose info. They're like, oh yeah, like diversity, DEI, like helping other people. But like, what is your personal reason for choosing informatics? And then try to understand like what is informatics. I feel like people don't really understand what it is and then what they're like getting themselves into. So I feel like yes, be personal and then have like a genuine reason of why you're choosing informatics. The more you focus individually and be like personal, the better. And then definitely like the people reviewing on the other side will kind of feel your passion. And then the third thing I'd say is seek help. Like I said, like seek out to like current info students or like people in leadership positions or just like professors or your TAs too. Ask for advice on your essays or just like help. And like I said, the info community, like they're willing to help.
Yeah. You mentioned joining clubs at UW. Can you talk about what drew you to WINFO and how has it shaped your experience both personally and professionally?
So I actually found about WINFO, which is Women in Informatics high school year. So I was in high school and I was actually a part of this program called Fearless Tech More. So it's one of WINFO's events where it's basically like a week-long virtual hackathon, word hackathon. It's more like designing like apps. But I found out about WINFO like during then, and then I just remember like in Zoom, I was like looking at all the officers. I'm like, dang, that's so cool. Like I want to be them one day. So yeah, and here I am now, which is pretty cool. But so that's how I found about WINFO, and then I think WINFO was kind of the door to info. So I kind of wanted to go into info because of WINFO, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like this community, like what they're doing is really cool. And then I got involved with WINFO, so I applied to be a first year representative, which is a first year leadership position within WINFO. But I didn't get first year rep, but then I got like a role in diversity committee. So WINFO also has a bunch of opportunities where you can join like a leadership position, but then also join like a committee. So I was part of the committee, and then I like worked my way up from like a director role, and then now like co-president. So yeah, I think that's a great way to get involved with the iSchool community, or just like get professional resources, because I know like WINFO, we do a lot of social events like painting night, craft nights. Yes, we love like crafts. And then we do a lot of professional networking. So we'll do like company tours, like go to companies, do tours, and then we'll do like hackathons. So we do like our annual hackathon. We have this one this year, and then we do a lot of like high school outreach too. So especially for our diversity, we try to focus on schools within the Seattle area, which are like have students that are underrepresented or like don't have access to as much tech resources. So we do a lot of like high school and middle school hackathons, both online and offline. But yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, Hannah, so let's talk more about you and your journey. Oftentimes, UW students feel alone in their career readiness journey. What are some things that you have done to motivate yourself and take on new skills, potentially during the summer? Are there internships that you have completed or just skills that you have improved on?
I'd say, especially for me, since I'm in design, I feel like the iSchool or just we don't really offer as much as design courses as I'd like. So what I did was I sometimes petitioned into HCD classes just to like gain more design knowledge, but there is like a number of times you can do that, and it's not guaranteed. So what I did, I feel like design is a very individual process, so you kind of have to build skills on your own a lot, and I think summer's a great time to do that. So what I did was I took online courses on design and kind of build my design skills from there. So I know it was another like thing where you can say, oh, like they don't offer as many design courses, maybe I should do something different. No, you should like take that as an opportunity and find out yourself, like seek resources for yourself. I think that's really essential, and I know for design community there's so much out there like in the online community too where they're willing to like help you. And then I know like there are physical meetups around the area where they do like design meets or like networking with designers, so I think that's really great. Yeah, just do like a lot of self-exploration, because I know there are like a limited number of design resources.
Yeah. What has been your favorite thing that you have designed? Maybe you've done it in the summer with a lot of time.
I think my favorite thing I designed wasn't exactly during the summer, but it was a project at school, but it wasn't like a course. It was part of like an RSO or like club at UW. It was called Web Impact, but it's a very special club where you don't really design for conceptual users. You actually have like a real life client you get to work with. So most of these clients are like clients within the area. They're like small business owners, which is more impactful. Because I think when I design, I really want to help for the people. So I tend to value like the person helping or like their values other than like profitability, which is also important. But so I got the opportunity to design for a small business on one of the restaurant owners on the app, and it was really great because I got to like meet her and like just take meetings with her and like talk to her in person, like what does she want from us. And I think that was like one of the very first projects I had with like a real client, and it was just very fun. And it was like designing, I'm actually designing for someone, like not just like for a school project. And then I really had fun working with engineers, like coders, designers, and just like leading the project, because like it was all meaningful. Because in the end, it was like for her business and for her business to grow. So I got to like design their website from scratch.
What business was it for?
Oh, it was called Poke Bay. So yes, you guys should all go grab a Poke Bowl if you're listening to this. But yeah,
It's cool that you get to get real experiences that potentially be very similar to what you actually might be working in. What are some of your long-term career goals?
So I know I'm going to be a designer of some sort, but lately I've been dabbling in the entrepreneurship field, so I really want to go into design and business. I know eventually I want to do, this is a big dream, but eventually I want to make my own company or like startup just to have my vision. I think section or like area-wise, I want to go into education or like for children. I really strongly believe that children or like the next generation we should really focus on, because they are the next leaders of this society. So definitely education, kids, maybe fitness, because I really am like into fitness and like wellness, like nutrition. So it'd be great to like work at Nike or something.
Yeah, for sure. What excites you about the future of women?
I think it's really exciting that it's growing now, because I know in the past, like women used to be so underrepresented in like STEM fields, and they seemed like they didn't really belong. But now they're growing. There's so many communities out there only focused on like women and growing these communities. So I think that's really great. And one piece of advice I'd give is, I know we tend to be very like hesitant to apply to stuff, like put ourselves out there, kind of network if we're not ready. And I myself am like that too. Like I will not start until I'm like perfect. Like I know I have all the skills. But I just want to say, like, just go out there, because I know we're all capable and like we adapt along the way. So
yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for answering our questions today. Lastly, what is one piece of advice or insight that you would like to leave with our listeners today?
Let's see. I think the top 3 are, first, college is like a small world. It's like a small compact world where you meet like so many different kinds of people and learn so many different things. So take in and absorb as much as you can. Like learn how people work, learn practical skills, and like create like a strong foundation for yourself. That's my first one. So learn as much as you can, because it's basically like a small world and you're gonna go out to the real world. 2, the second one, I'd say find 3 mentors that can guide you. So that can be professors, TAs, even students too, like us. So find 3 mentors that can guide you along the way, whether that be professionally, just like mentally, that those who can support you and kind of you can go back to get help. I think that's really, really important. I feel like I tend to hesitate to reach out for help because I think I can do everything on my own. But no, like there are some things you can't do on your own, and you've learned so much from like getting help from others. So definitely find 3 mentors. And then I think the other thing is find five lifelong friends. I know like college, it's like you meet so many different kinds of people, and like big groups are fine, but I feel like finding that genuine like few friends is so essential, because they're the real ones. Like they'll stick around to the end, like they'll support you, even though they like go with you through ups and downs. But yeah, they like support you, and they'll kind of be like your main point of, again, support and like love, encouragement. So yeah, 3 mentors, 5 friends. And then my last point of advice I'd say is, I know apart from like school assignments and projects, which are very important, try to set like a project or individual assignment for yourself. So I know it's very cheesy, but that should be finding who you are. And I know even if you finish college, like you will still be unsure of like what you want to do, but at least have like a sense of direction of what do you want to work, like what do you like, doing, and just who you are. And I feel like that's so essential, because like essentially in your 20s you're building that strong foundation of like who you are and like what skills you can equip yourselves with, because based on that foundation, that's how you're going to build upon your 30s, 40s, and 50s. So I would just say building a strong foundation and kind of setting that individual assignment for yourself.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. We're going to end off with a little bit of a fun rapid fire round.
Okay.
You're going to start off with, what is your favorite UW tradition?
Taking pictures of cherry blossoms.
Of course. Classic. What about a hot take?
I do not like boba or sushi.
My gosh. What is your favorite late night study spot on campus?
Denny room, definitely.
Okay. What is the best spot for a sunset in Seattle?
Cary Park, with like the all scenic, like scenery, city light.
Okay. And lastly, what is your favorite restaurant on the app?
I'm not really an eat out person, but cafe, I'd say Ugly Mug, which I recently found out.
Yeah.
Very cute. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, everybody. That was it for our first episode. Please stay tuned for our upcoming episodes. We have a lot to cover for you. I'm your host, Mihika Jane.
And it was Hanny.
Thank you so much.